And we're back. Welcome back to the Brave Podcast. My name is Angelo, aka Exploring with Angelo here on YouTube. Normally you find me out there hunting ghosts, going to abandoned places, and all sorts of strange locations. Here we do something a little bit different. Tell stories, talk about interesting topics, sometimes politics, sometimes whatever comes to mind. But yeah, today we have some very, very interesting guests, very good friends of mine, and they're going to tell us some stories, things about what they're doing, things about their past. But before that, let me introduce my co-host, Moshi.
Hi, that's me. I'm Mohammed. I'm Moshi on YouTube, Moshi Yo on Instagram, and the rest. Today, we're going to be talking to a couple of guys. One I've known for about 15 years. I was thinking about it, how long ago it was.
Damn, it's been that long.
Yeah, I think maybe more. I think it was like 2008 or something like that.
Protege 5 days.
Yeah, man.
Long time.
Oh, that's true. I forgot.
That's where the connection came in, right?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that completely. We had the same car, essentially, pretty much. So let's just get into it really quickly, though. Find us on YouTube, obviously, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Rumble, where it gets spicy. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a guy I've known for a while and his brother, who I just met 7 minutes ago, Jesse and Steven. Welcome.
All right, Jess. So, yeah, welcome. Welcome, Steven, as well. So, yeah, basically, so Jesse and I go way back, actually, to high school.
Oh, yeah.
The funniest thing is that we knew of each other, but we didn't really know each other. And then somewhere down the line, we were introduced to one another. I think it was through Frank, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
I believe so, yeah.
I believe so, yeah. I think it was just kind of like, so basically the story was that Mo and I were basically became good friends. We're working together in Primerica, and I think that's kind of how we were introduced to you, because at one point Frank was involved, and then he got you involved, and so on and so forth.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So Jesse's got quite an interesting story. So after we met, we became good friends for a long period of time. We'd always hang out, spend a lot of time playing foosball. That was like one of our biggest things, kind of a local area everybody would hang out at. And then there's another guy here. You just can't see him on camera. He's our good friend, Anthony. If you've seen my vlogs, you've probably seen him before. But he's just not, he's camera shy at this particular time. But yeah, he's also hanging out with us. So we got the whole group here. But apart from that, the main part of his story, at least what we wanted to kind of talk about, was there was a crazy accident that happened to him. How long ago was that, Jesse?
2018 of August 2nd, 9:36 in the morning.
9:36 in the morning. So
Never forget those numbers.
Oh, no.
No.
Never.
How could you?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So I'll never forget when I got the phone call, which was from Frank, and he's like, yo, Jesse like basically fell off a roof at one point. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, dude, he's literally in the hospital right now. Like, it's bad. And I remember, I don't think I've ever driven that fast down the 401. I'll just be honest with you. I mean, I had the STI at the time, so I was probably, you know, just a little bit, yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, I remember we all ended up at the hospital, and just walking in, we're like, what happened? And I'll let you tell the rest of the story. And then maybe if Steven can tell his side of the story from what, because I'm sure you were probably around almost every day at the time, or, you know, in some sort of way, right? So Jesse, tell us what happened like that day and how everything kind of went down.
Typically a normal, work day. And
So what were you doing for work? Why were you on a roof that day?
Oh, so in the wintertime, we get laid off, whatever. And I got a couple of buddies that we work on these $1 million homes around Rainfart, Leslie,
In Toronto.
In Toronto,
yeah.
basically, yeah.
and Bayview and all that. And
Yeah, so what were you doing up on the roof?
installing fake slate, and being up on a machine, thinking everything's fine and dandy, and one thing goes to the next.
What was this machine?
Genie lift.
Okay.
And you never expect it to happen to you, but just
Of course, oh yeah.
Yeah, from what I remember hearing, it was like the hydraulic or something snapped,
they
right?
considered it a freak accident where the hydraulic line broke, and yeah.
How okay? So how high were you? What kind of building was this?
27. It was like 38,000 square foot home, like 27 feet in the air.
Wow.
And then arm just broke, and Yeah.
Crazy.
Do you remember it? Like, do you remember it as it kind of happened? It must have happened all like so fast.
Unfortunately,
right?
I can only remember after I seen the DVD footage of it.
There was DVD footage of it.
Yeah.
Damn.
From
the cameras on the site, and
okay.
I had an image, but then seeing it, like, that's me. That's where it gets like cluster, like I get silence to myself because like I got to deal with it. But
Yeah,
it's life.
it's traumatic. Something like
The
that.
best part is
I
I'm still
imagine you
here.
forget.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, that was the crazy part because I remember kind of when it kind of happened, we were all like at the hospital and we're like, yo, what happens next, right? Nobody knew, right? We're like, there was a lot of people saying that, like, in all honesty, that Jesse probably should have been dead, right? Which would have been worst case scenario. Thank God that never happened. But you had a lot of injuries. I don't remember, like, what were your injuries that you kind of had happen?
Leg detached from the right side, just beat holding it. L2 to L7, I believe it was. Shattered. Arm completely shattered. And it being in a pool of blood.
Damn.
Yeah, because I remember part of the story was that your back hit the
my back hit
whatever,
the
right?
big slate. Like, watching the camera.
So you watched the footage of everything beginning to end, the thing breaking, you hitting the ground. So it was the ground, it was the floor, a driveway or something.
Well, you know, I'm like a brick hitting the floor. It's not
right. Like asphalt.
No,
Concrete?
it was like gravel.
Yeah,
but our slate is. Our slates are like knives when you hit them, and
sure.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, Steven, where were you when all this went down?
Well, I think I was about to go to work. For some reason, the time 10:42 comes into mind, something like that.
Yeah.
I just hear that my brother got into an accident, and I'm just like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was scared. The first thing I did immediately was like call my boss, like, I'm not coming into work today.
Yeah.
And I immediately go to my mom, and she just breaks down into a mess, like on her knees crying.
So you guys were still home when this kind of happened, right?
Yeah, mom would be,
yeah.
That's the worst part is mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
she loves you a lot.
Any mom is just, your kids aren't supposed to go before you.
No.
It's just, that's the worst. Like, having mom cry and I'm there like broken and it's so hard to describe because I don't ever want to feel the pain she felt.
Yep. Yeah. It was pretty rough, man. I remember just like walking into the room. I don't even know if you were aware that everybody was even there or who was there.
Oh, I was so intoxicated with whatever they were giving me.
Yeah.
Just, I had some recollection, but not really.
So that was the day of? You guys were in the hospital? Okay.
Yeah. So literally like a few
hours later.
It must have been maybe like an hour or two after it happened, and he was, I think it was like Tobacco or something. I don't remember which hospital it was, but I just remember Frank told me, and he was on the
maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
That
yeah,
makes sense.
That's the one, yeah.
So okay, so the moment, not the moment of. So they take you to the ambulance, takes you to the hospital. Was there like surgery that happened immediately?
Oh no.
Okay, so you were.
They had to fly a specialist in to do that type of operation, to put rods through my back, and what an experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. Jeez. So like you were on like probably so many drugs at the time that you were just like kind of. It looked like
I was on autopilot.
Yeah, like I remember seeing you and you were just like you're like shaking or whatever. Like you probably went to the hospital right after too, right? So you probably remember seeing all that and were just like, okay, this is bad. Like this was really, really bad. And then I just remember the big gash on the back of your neck, and it was just like wide open, like you can see like literally right basically to your shoulder blade,
your whole arm
essentially.
in there.
Basically if you really wanted to,
It was horrendous.
Yeah. So what's after that? So you had to wait before you could do any sort of surgeries or anything like that.
Yeah, about a week and a half, I believe.
Yeah, and then they started doing operations, and
then the operations happened, and then 2 weeks after the operations, they sent me to some rehab places. I had to learn how to walk, learn how to write. They even made me have to write with start learning with my left hand, because potentially what's there might not work. There's times you could put like a knife in my back in certain areas and I won't even feel it go in now, because nerve systems are shot. And
so you can't, still to this day, you can't feel in that particular area? Yeah?
It feels cold.
Okay. Can we test it out after the show?
Oh, by all means. Just make sure you clean the blood or else I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Mama's not going to like that.
Yeah. We got to keep the Juventus jersey intact.
Best believe.
So what was the total like recovery time? What was, I mean, I remember it being like at least like a year before you were still kind of...
About a year and a half before I came home, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, you're isolated, so like, whoever gets to see this or whatnot, just, it sounds like I'm awkward, but it's hard to explain to someone that's, God willingly, never even comes to a thought that it ever happens to your life, because it is not for anybody, but you have having a strong mindset to deal with something, and don't say why me. It is what it is, unfortunately, but you gotta love life, baby. Yeah. For me to wake up every day, God bless.
Yeah, man.
Do you think that having that mindset helped you pull through a lot?
Oh yeah, and that's another thing with being brought up with kickboxing, bit of Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, having a strong mindset of make the commitment if you're gonna hit or the block, kind of like your mind, make the negativity is gonna be there, yes, but can't dwell on negativity. You're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to kill yourself. Take the bad and make it the good and enjoy it. It's sickeningly beautiful how life is, but once those eyes open up every day, yeah, boy.
Man.
Yeah, boy.
Such a good outlook, eh? So positive.
Yeah, man.
Damn, dude.
And to me, when I hear myself and look like I talk to myself at home, unfortunately. We all do, but I actually answer myself. It's just, there was a point where I was psychotic, because it's just...
I mean, you went through so much, right?
Yeah,
so...
and it's like, I can't cry, why me, this and that. Like, everybody, has always an opinion about something, but God bless you and your opinion. But that's yours.
Yeah.
I respect it, but it's not as easy as, but... time will make it. Nah, trust me. There's times I'll wake up at night, start screaming, I just killed the boss because the machine broke this way or that way, or.
So you have like nightmares that it could have gone differently.
Some serious PTSD. Serious PTSD.
Damn. Like I can imagine like thinking about stuff like that. I know people who've there's one, I don't even know if I should talk about it, but there was like a crazy incident a long time ago where one of my cousins, he was very, very young, and he was in a freak accident, which took his own life. And it was from a person who was a family friend. And I imagine like the amount of guilt you would go through in your entire life, like living with that, like taking away this little kid from their family, and it just knowing like there was nothing you could do about it, right? And you kind of wish and pray every single day that it had gone completely differently. But yeah, stuff like that's like really hard to talk about. Topics like this, like I got to give it to Jesse, even just sitting here talking about it, right? Not that we're trying to bring back, memories or PTSD, but like just kind of sharing
PTSD
with the world.
Just
like,
coming to sit on the chairs, just take it.
So
a question's going to come. Just try to answer it the best of your capability, and don't take any offense to it. Everybody has a way of asking a question, and appreciate how it's being asked. Understand, I don't want to get into that part of people, but hey.
Thank you for sharing, man. Both of you, Steven, as well. You probably felt some stuff those days. It probably would have been super scary.
It just sucks having to be awkward, because it's like, you remember before we were like driving, the car group of guys, that, and
it just feels
I don't even have that passion no more.
For like cars and stuff like that.
Not like I still let's go do it, and then I don't know.
Yeah, because I think back then we were all so much younger. We were all kind of into like the cars and you know, mods and this and that and
going fast.
You were actually the one that made me buy the Protege 5. Believe it or not. I seen yours and I'm like, okay. And then I happened to stumble upon a gem and I'm buying it.
Because you had what the Protege, right?
Yeah.
The rust
hey,
bucket.
it's a girl's car, but that's my girl.
It was a good car, man. It was a very good car. It's reliable, nice.
For a basic car, oh yeah.
Yeah, for such a cheap car. Wow.
Yeah. And then we all kind of grew up and we're just like, I could really care less nowadays. I'll just buy a Forester. I don't really care if somebody, you know, says weird things, but
yeah, no, I need an SUV so I can fit the stroller in the back.
Exactly. Right. Priorities change.
Yeah.
I need all-wheel drive. I need to get through the snow and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But so how's so you said your outlook has changed on life. Would you say that it's like, in a way, had a positive impact on the way you kind of like look at things nowadays?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why it happened. Is it a lesson for the people that are around me to also be strong? And this could have been you, maybe, or like, you know, you hear these freak accidents of people happening, but you're like, you don't know those people.
Yeah.
Until you like, I heard this happen to him, you, or you, like, damn. Like I've had a friend commit suicide, and like that was like horrendously hurtful. It's like, bye, have a good night, and then
yeah, and then you never see them ever again. Things happen.
Yeah.
Crazy things happen. I think
the journey of life is beautiful.
Yeah, I find it, and then you kind of like when you start to go through stuff like this, you kind of begin to think about like what people say when they say don't take things for granted, and it's totally true. Totally true. Because I've had so many family members, like some expected, you know, they got sick, and over time, you know, it's gonna happen. But sometimes there's like those events that happen that you don't expect it, and those are the ones that it's like it's the worst, right? Like we had our friend Chinky, your friend that you went to high school with, and he was in a freak car accident and passed away, and it was just like, holy crap, man. Like you didn't, like you said, you say goodbye the night before, a week before, or whatever it is, and then you never think something like that, because then at that point when it does happen, you kind of just wish you could have had more time.
Yeah, because the guilt comes in, and then it's like, I wish I could have done something different. Well, I wish can't fix it now. It's unfortunate. It's make the best of how you played your cards.
Yeah. So now when it comes to recovery, like now, since it's been so many years, do you still feel like a lot of the pain, or is it mostly gone? You feel like mostly recovered, kind of getting back to normal life, or like what is it like now?
Waking up is the hardest part, because you know you feel the rods going up and down in your spine.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, when you have to, you know, use the restroom, you go and do your business the first time, and then you got to go back again just to tinkle, and then tinkle again. And it's like, because they had to reconstruct down there because everything just exploded when it hit. And it's amazing what they can do to the body. Like, people that can help you.
The way they do all these crazy surgeries,
yeah,
and turn you into a bionic man.
Workers.
Yeah, quite literally.
Pretty much. They're like
absolutely,
butchers. They're oh man.
So can you give, you know, it's up to you if you want to give detail, but can you explain? So you've had more than one surgery, is my assumption.
Yeah, I've had the spine surgery, right arm surgery. I've had the discs fused. The leg had to get 4 screws. They reconstructed my private parts for me to, you know, be able to do my
business.
My business.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I blew up like a balloon because, like, you know, like the air couldn't get out somehow. It's like, what do you mean I can breathe though? And the bodies are.
Yeah, the body's a very unique, weird thing.
So weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, glad you made it through.
Very glad.
Yeah. So are you getting back into MMA or what? What's your plan?
That's a good story.
Good question, I guess.
Yeah.
So you guys might not know, but Jesse has been into MMA. When did you start?
Good question, eh?
Probably a little kid, I guess, at that point.
7 years old.
Yeah.
With Taekwondo, and then.
What's the age difference between you two? How old are you, Steven?
I'm 25.
25, so 7 years. So when you started, he probably was either just born or not even born yet.
2 years later. That's
Yeah.
where he was a part. I'm 33, so.
Okay. Yeah. So you did MMA since you were 7 up until
Yeah.
I guess that when the accident happened. You fought in tournaments. You fought for the national team of Canada. Was that under?
For that GITF kickboxing,
Mhm.
taekwondo style. Yeah, it was. You're training as a kid, like not knowing what you're doing. Eventually, how did I get here? But okay. Sometimes it's a dream.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I made Team Canada, age 11, I believe.
That's so cool.
And then you did it all through high school.
Yeah,
As well, right?
high school was bad. My mom wasn't too pleased. a lot of classes missed.
Yeah, yeah. At
He
least
has
you
to
had a
go.
reason, though, right? So it's not like you just skipped for no reason. I mean, when you did skip, that was for other reasons, but I think we all did it. I had my own. I skipped a lot of class in high school. I just lost interest at some point.
Trying to
I'm
wait
just
for the
like-
phone to ring at home. Meanwhile, it already rang.
Yeah,
Your mom
yeah.
playing you dumb.
So, what was the experience like? When you finally got into like the big leagues, I guess we'll call it.
Kind of surreal because like it's amateur, but I mean it still get to that level,
Mhm.
and the art of understanding an art that anybody's gonna hopefully understand what I mean by you can't understand the art that you're being taught because how did you get this art to be this way? Like there's so many different art forms of fighting and stuff, and you have to like know how to counteract and know how to receive to go in with it, and it's amazing to learn something that's just beautiful. And the greatest thing I ever heard was learn to fight and never use it, please.
The disciplinary part of it,
Yeah.
right?
Learn
So-
how to diffuse the situation at all costs. I'm sorry, this, that, whatever. There's no egos, no nothing. Because I came out to have a good time. You came out to have a good time. We all have mothers.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, we were still living in Toronto at the time because after my parents' divorce, me and my mom went to go live in Toronto with my grandparents. So she put me in karate up until she uses the excuse that I was using it against other kids. I don't think that was the real reason. I think it was just because we ended up moving out of the city and she's just like, I ain't got no time for this or whatever. So that didn't end up continuing it, right? Kind of wish that I did because like you said, it's like a really cool art that kind of teaches you, I guess, discipline, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
it probably teaches you how to kind of have that focus, right? That mental focus. Did you ever do MMA, Steve?
I've only done taekwondo and, well, a lot of school fights.
Yeah. Using it against the other kids?
To be fair, I was temperamental.
Yeah.
I tried my best. But, I mean, you know how it is when you're a kid. Your mind isn't all there. You're still trying to learn self-control, learn how to take people's words and just not react to them. But, hey, we're all adults now. There's never no room for improvement, so keep trying. But
It's surprising how you have to be kind of lucky to learn an art, to hopefully not ever have to use it, but when you do use it, you still kind of look like the culprit. But it's like, I didn't know you were going to come here.
Yeah, right. It's
Or
like,
people getting jumped, like,
well, if you end up messing with the wrong guy and then all of a sudden you get your ass whooped because you didn't realize that they were an MMA fighter or something, right? So kind of just,
yeah, you can never judge a book by its cover either.
Yeah.
There's guys way smaller than me, and it's like
like how would you know, right? Like you would literally never know. And just all of a sudden.
you have a tell, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many different arts where you just don't know.
Mhm.
And one art can lead to this art, and like,
Oh, yeah. So what was training like? Like,
training was
tell us about how that, like what
it
was
used
your...
to be an hour when I started, a week, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then when I got scouted, I guess, for tournaments, interested in fighting for the Canadian team if you qualify, and sure. You gotta talk to the parents first. I was only
At that point, the parents make all the decisions.
I was
right?
only like 11 years old when they offered it to me, and you know, I want Pokemon cards, not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And luckily, my parents, you know, my dad was a canine boxer back in Portugal, and that was kind of one of the reasons of why they put us into fighting. And yeah, you can punch, but maybe you might need to use your legs sometimes, or you can hip thrust like you with wrestling. I wish I learned wrestling. It's you don't have to hit people; it's just maneuver it out of the way. It's kind of like maneuvering out of an accident, like prior to like almost hitting somebody, right?
Yeah.
Learn how to diffuse a situation before it happens. And
I remember, what's that movie, Ip Man?
Ip Man.
Yeah, where he would just kind of like do the certain moves, and it was mostly just like blocks and stuff.
Yeah, it's blocks, and it's just
Wing Chun. Yeah, a lot of redirecting.
Yeah, yeah. We should all just learn that.
Yeah. There was a time when I was looking for a Wing Chun gym around here, but there's none around here.
It doesn't exist.
No.
Yeah, isn't that
time.
like that's like a really like old type of style, I guess you would call it, right?
I think so.
Like nobody really uses that anymore, but it looks so great in the movie.
Rare. Yeah.
Screw it. Let's start our own gym. We'll just learn it off YouTube from somebody, hopefully, and then we'll just start our own gym. And
too many of those people.
So it was like so you traveled a lot when you were younger. Where did you go? Like, what was your most memorable places that you did?
Malaysia, England, Italy, Bayern Munich in Germany, Korea.
I remember. I think
Japan.
I remember you said like your favorite was probably Korea, right?
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah, it was surreal.
What did you like about Japan?
Or the trees.
The trees, the cherry
There's
blossoms.
no trees in the city.
There's some trees.
When we went, there was.
Yeah. I guess you just don't really notice them until there's the cherry blossoms, and then you're like, "Holy crap, these things are everywhere."
Yeah, like they're
and everybody's
planted specifically
just like
in the
pack
city.
Of ants, like so many people.
Yeah, it's.
We had to have
tight.
bodyguards just so we wouldn't get lost. We'd get abducted without even being tried to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because they have they cross like through the centers, this outside.
Yeah.
The intersections, the road intersections of the Shibuya crossing, the popular crossing where there's 1,000 people in the road at one time.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's just kind of in the middle of the road at the same time. But where else so you went to England, you said?
Yeah.
What other memorable places did you say? Like, what was your best moments, best tournaments that you fought in?
Puerto Rico of 2007.
Yeah. Why was that so memorable to you?
I wore pink gear.
Pink gear? Is that just like unheard of? It doesn't happen.
Tactic,
Oh, okay. Throw
blowing
them off,
kisses
right?
at guys in the ring. And, if a guy blows a kiss at you, you're gonna blink, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then
You're gonna
that's
be
when
like,
I hit him.
you're just gonna be like, wait, what? Did this guy just blow a kiss at me? What the hell?
And I'm wearing pink gear, so it's like I can't say what I'm gonna say because this era is not back in 1990.
Yeah. Was the pink your choice or was it somebody else?
Yes.
Totally your choice. That's so funny. I'm just trying to imagine Jesse showing up and just all in pink gear.
You gotta do that for the next episode. You gotta show up in all pink.
I'll bring the gear. I still got it.
Yeah, man.
It's all about tactics,
Yeah.
No, there's no point in punching someone in the face or something. Go for the armpit. Go for the rib shots.
Mhm.
You don't need. This is nothing. You go for the jugular part of it, and
So you just like to play mind games with everybody.
yeah,
That's how you
it's
get
like a
them.
game of chess to me. I'm 4 moves ahead of you. Hopefully, you're not 4 moves ahead of me,
Mhm.
thinking I'm 4 moves ahead of you, because then it's gonna get ugly.
Mm.
But the best part about fighting is just after that match is over, it's just
That's it. We're brothers.
it's like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Honor.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you got to show respect to your
Yes.
opponents, right? Even if you whoop their ass or they whooped your ass or whatever, there's no point in bad sportsmanship.
That's right.
It's sort of like back in the old day with the NHL. There used to be fighting was so much more predominant, like back in hockey, right? Like that was like fight.
The Domi days.
Yeah, so like you'd have these like certain players, like they were always the big dudes, and that's what they were there for. They were literally brought on as goons. I remember I think you had a friend, or he was friends with somebody. He used to show up once in a while, and that's what he got recruited by the Devils or something. I don't remember what his name was. I don't know if you remember who I'm talking about.
I don't.
But anyways, I just remember him telling me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Do you remember his name? I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But anyways, that was like
his name.
his job. He literally got recruited to play for the Devils as a goon. Like that was his contract. You're literally just the goon. There's a whole movie about it. Stifler. Yeah. We always know him as Stifler. I never remember his actual Sean something.
William Scott.
That's it. Yeah. So, anyways, the whole point was these guys would literally beat the crap out of each other on the ice, and then like after the game, they would show up in the locker room and they're all like shaking hands and having beers afterwards together, right? Like that's how it used to be back in the day. So I don't know what it's like now.
Well, it's like back in the day, you get into a fight with another dude and let's go to the bar, drink it out, and we're best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you got to worry about if I'm going to open my eyes.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
So back in your fighting days, what was the mindset that you would go into like training?
It did get a little ruthless at times where, you know, it's kind of like brainwashing you in a way, but I mean, you're there to win.
Mm-hmm.
But you're there to make sure it counts. Like, think this person did something, you know, to your mother, and like, what are you gonna do to like to defuse a situation of out cold, search him if he's got any weapons, then run, type of deal. But it's like a game of chess. It's like, you know, you got to knock the pawn. But how are you gonna knock the like? There's times when you know, I've seen people get knocked out, and hopefully nothing happens to the brain or nothing.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't go further than what I did, because not pleasant.
Mm.
Being a everybody's. I'm pretty sure I've seen videos of fighters, and they kind of messed up. I mean, you were there to just, you know, hit, not talk.
Do you remember a lot of his fights, Steven?
I remember a few when I was smaller. I would just see a giant blur throw a kick and another guy would go flying. My brother would be the giant blur.
Remember when I broke my trophy? The one that I'm like, oh, that's my trophy. I just kicked the guy into the trophy.
Did you injure your arm or leg and you still won the tournament?
Oh, yeah. I had. Well,
you did. Wait, say that again?
Yeah, I think it was his arm.
Yeah.
My brother just still goes into the tournament and he just comes out with a victory. I'm like,
with a broken arm?
Yeah, broken arm.
Basically.
My ankle as well. That was Korea.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So it was both ankle and arm,
or
both
broken.
And arm. Oh
wow.
Man,
how old were you?
2005. So I would have been.
So Fort 15, roughly.
Yeah.
You were 1990, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 15.
And you just you knew it was broken. You knew something was wrong.
They you know. Tie it up. Okay.
Other people knew that your ankle was broken.
My coach.
Oh,
so
my God.
My master would be like, okay, your arm's broken, but you're here to fight, so get back here. So tie it up, and
you're bringing home this trophy, dude.
Yeah.
Whether you want to or
I
not.
brought home the trophy, but it was broken.
Damn, dude.
It's like the Karate Kid movie. Same idea, but in real life.
Yeah.
Because he had like the bum ankle or whatever. And
Yeah,
so he did the whole kick.
That's right.
Whatnot. So I just love how Steven remembers that he was a big blur. He was just throwing people
really
across the room.
Well, like, goddamn. Like, I didn't go to Korea, but I saw a video. It's just, it's unreal what this guy can do when he really has to.
That's cool. That's neat.
I mean, I probably could have been a smarter kid and not try and push so hard against him whenever he told me to do something, but hey, childhood ignorance week.
Yeah.
But I was a great teacher, you know. Being older brothers are always bullies, right? They make you strong.
Did he used to bully you when you were younger?
He would be an older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's to be expected, right? So
I mean, it kind of makes sense because like when you see a younger brother, I'm assuming that you're just like, man, this world is tough. I need to toughen you up a little, but I still love you. So because like he's definitely shown me like his caring moments very often.
Yeah.
So I don't have a doubt in my mind that he cares about me and loves me.
Yeah.
It's like, heck, I love this guy too.
All day, homie.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. No, I mean, he talks about you a lot when you're not here, and it kind of brings a tear to your eye because he's like, oh, sometimes I go and knock on his. He's finally coming home for Christmas. So, basically, Steven is a armed forces, right?
Yes.
So he's on base majority of the time throughout the year. So we very rarely get to see him. And it's always like this big occasion when Steven comes home, right? I mean, you're gone for like 6 months at a time. So yeah, of course it's, a big occasion. So even the other day we were all hanging out here and you could tell Jesse was all excited. And Anthony probably remembers. He was all excited. Yeah, Steven's coming home. Finally, I'll get to knock on his door and he can actually answer this time. So, I mean, it's good to have you back, even if it's just for the Christmas season. But yeah, so tell us about the armed forces. How are they treating you?
Well, I'll definitely say this. It can definitely be challenging sometimes, but honestly, my one regret is, and I sorry to say this, my one regret is not joining sooner. Because me personally, I've had my own share of struggles because I'm not dumb, but I'm definitely slow in the head. So picking up some things were
I think you're just thinking more.
You have a unique mindset that's built for the field that you're in. That's why you feel like you're done, because it's just only certain people can have that mindset and use it.
Yeah, no, like there's a few guys who understand my mindset better than I do, and they use me pretty well. Because like, I remember one time I was in the field. I didn't have too much to do at that moment, so I was just improving whatever shelter I had, making sure it was waterproof, obviously warm, and yada yada. But for me to be actually okay, I just need something to do. Give me some work.
Yeah, that's like me.
You need this 60-pound bag up that hill? Okay, let's go.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, you used to run with, what was it, like 20, 30-pound rock bag? Like
30-pound rock bags, 5 pounds of ankle weights on each leg. I didn't know at the time that it was also kind of bad for your bones, but I didn't go too high, so it wasn't that bad. But
yeah.
I definitely pushed myself harder than anyone ever did before I joined the Army, so
a lot of that was out of your own, you chose to do that? Or was that like part of your training?
I chose to do it myself.
Yeah. So basically you're just a nut job, but it's good.
I'm a nut job, but one thing's for sure, I know I got a big heart. I know sometimes that might sort of get in the way, considering how some people are in society, but I mean, all you can do is just forgive, but do not forget. Do not be a fool.
That's a good way to think. I like that. So what do you do out there? What is your role? What is your job?
I am a vehicle technician, so anything that has an engine or wheels, I am the one expected to repair it, get it operational. Like, something gets down and it's not able to move, get it out of there. Do the best you can. Do it as fast as you can, because like, say you're fixing something like a wheel because it's quite literally stuck and sucked into mud. You got to be fast. You got to be knowledgeable about what you're doing, because like, I'm gonna have infantry around me protecting me. I am a valuable asset, and I'm just like, man, these guys are alive too. I can't mess up, otherwise.
You gotta be quick. You gotta do it right.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, when you put on that uniform, you are all brothers and sisters. It is a family, and you are there to protect each other, do what you're out there to do, and well, yeah, I'm just glad that we're out there trying our best to make a difference, a positive one, and
that's great.
Come back home alive.
That's a great goal.
Yeah, pretty good goal. We're just gonna take a little pause because Jesse has to go pee, so we'll be back in a moment. So we're back. Everybody, did everybody have a wonderful pee break?
Yes, sir.
Enjoy themselves.
When we were in Mexico, one guy, we were doing a tour of the Chichen Itza, the pyramids. So at the stop on the way there, he was like, "Okay, everybody, this is the pee-pee station. You get out and you do your pee-pee here." So whenever I think of going to the washroom to pee, I always think of that pee-pee station.
Was it an actual like bathroom, or was it?
Oh yeah, it was like a Canadian story. Yeah.
He's just pointing to a bush, like,
it's
okay,
just
you gotta go. This is where you pee. So before we started again, you guys were talking about video games. I think the most anticipated video game right now is going to be GTA 6. I think everybody kind of saw the trailer, and Mo and I in the last episode, you had that one video where it was showing how the we gotta find it again. I'll see if I could I think we have it
Yes.
saved in here somewhere, but
Yeah, the last notes.
it was like clips of basically.
Yeah, so in the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't know if you saw it, they had, so the game is set in Florida, what they're making to be like Florida. And so a lot of the clips in the trailer are clips of just weird stuff that you'd see people do in Florida, like Florida Man does this and stuff, but it's real life clips that they just redid for their own game. And so we were watching the video of them comparing the real life.
Just so you guys can see this, it's up on the TV there. Oh, let me get the.
Oh yeah, I saw these comparisons. It was hilarious.
And it's actually how they act.
Yeah, this is literally like
It's
real life.
real.
I already know this game
alligator,
generates so
the
much
crocodile.
controversy. But you know that Joker face guy?
Yeah.
He tried to sue them. It's like, oh, you took my
Yes.
appearance. Like Lindsay Lohan already tried that. She failed. Like, why are you trying? You're not gonna get anything.
Hold on, was that a crocodile?
Yeah,
out
it
of
was
the
It was an
crocodile.
alligator.
Imagine coming out of an elevator and that's the first thing you see.
Oh yeah,
I think it was
That's
walking into
Florida.
a store, but yeah.
But that's like
crazy.
That's like real life in Florida. Like alligators are legit just everywhere. They'll just so a lot of homes, depending on where you live, they have like enclosures around the pool, like all glass enclosures, so that way the alligators cannot get into your pool because they will try. It happens all the time, right? So like there's been some Airbnbs that I've stayed at, and they're more like in Fort Lauderdale, closer to Miami or whatever, kind of like away from those areas, I suppose. But you're still kind of like worried that like what if an alligator you get up in the morning, you go into the backyard and there's an alligator in the pool, right? Like what do you do? Then do I just call the host and be like, hey, yeah, we got a little bit of a problem here?
Oh, you know that bar that we used to play jiu-jitsu at?
Yeah.
Sometimes? So there was a story, and I thought it was fake but until I Googled it. There was an altercation at the bar or whatever. The guy jumped over the fence. Happens to be I don't know if it's alligator or crocodile, one of the two, just in the backyard. It was the person's
Really?
pet. Yeah. Google it.
in Brampton.
In Brampton, yes, yeah.
Really?
I thought it was
crazy.
See if you
baloney,
can
but
find it.
yeah.
What
This
the hell?
would have been like the Prodigy 5 days, so like 20,
That's how we.
2012,
That's the
2015.
standard.
That's how we tell
Oh, yeah.
time.
Yeah,
That's how we tell the
car
time of
guys
our
tell
lives.
time. Yeah, by the cars down. So I own the STI during.
Oh, that's how you save half of the guys on your list. Oh,
Yeah.
STI, Brembo pack. Yeah. Anthony's SRT.
Oh yeah, I forget about that. Yeah, you had an SRT back in the day.
The
That's
first
funny.
headline I found is Brampton backyard alligator likely an illegal pet.
I mean, I'd imagine.
I will perch
so.
court. Yeah,
You remembers the
because
address too.
we lived in that street.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's crazy though.
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine having an alligator as a pet? That would be kind of cool, but still.
Yeah.
Or like the Dubai people, drifting the cars on two wheels with a cheetah in the car.
Yeah,
No.
cheetahs, or they got like camels and stuff. Like that's
man.
that's pretty wild, man. But yeah, GTA 6 looking pretty good so far. When is the release date? for that?
They've put a year so far, 2025.
Oh, that's not so bad.
It'll get pushed back.
Yeah,
It'll probably
Yeah.
get pushed
probably.
back.
Yeah, yeah, but it'll be worth it though. We
Oh, yeah.
we
Yeah.
know. What's everybody's favorite Grand Theft Auto game?
Vice
San
City.
Andreas.
You liked Vice City? I like Vice City
Loved
too.
Vice City.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm stuck between San Andreas because it was really good.
Really
yeah.
good.
There's so
The
many
map,
things
the
in it.
map.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even the map of Grand Theft Auto 6 is massive.
yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna
especially in
be huge.
comparison.
Mhm.
Like, I do like Grand Theft Auto 4. They had a parkour system that I just personally enjoyed because I practice a bit of parkour because I have 3 dreams in my life. 1, build my own race car.
Yeah.
2nd, have my own family that I can love and trust completely.
Mhm.
I basically already got that, but just maybe with a bit less confusion like our families had.
Mhm.
And then my 3rd is, I know it's impossible, probably not going to ever happen, but be a superhero.
Be a superhero?
Yeah, because like
But you can be a superhero because Batman didn't have any superpowers, but he was still considered a superhero.
yeah,
right?
but he had
So-
the power of money. Like,
Yeah,
he
and
just
who's
drops
saying that's
100K in
impossible?
front of this judo
Well,
master. He's like, all right,
look at the
teach me.
Joker. He didn't have the power of money. He just took it.
I know. I
But
actually
he was a
played-
super villain, though. So, right?
Hey, supervillain is a superhero. He's just on the wrong side.
The other side.
just have,
They think it's the other side.
I'm not gonna lie. Though, imagine Joker if he had Batman's body. Invincible.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh my God, that'd be crazy. So how do we attain? Let's do this realistically. So how do we become superheroes with neither the financial standing to do so, like Batman, or superpowers? What are the possibilities here? How do we do this? Do we just become like Brampton Batman and just have a Batmobile and wear a suit and roam around, or how does this work? Plus, I'd love to have that guy on the podcast at some point in time. I think that would be really cool.
I have a connection to him, actually.
Do you really?
I've never thought about that.
Yeah. Okay. So we definitely need to hit him up, because I really want to pick the dude's brain. So for those of you that don't know, Brampton Batman.
I can give you the location of his house.
Well, we don't need that.
I'm here like, I know someone who knows someone. And he's like, I'll take you to his house.
I happened to see him come out of the house and just wearing this Batman suit. I didn't have you. I've seen you, but
once.
Did it? Maybe.
The what?
I swear his Batmobile got stolen once.
Probably. I mean, it is Brampton, right? So, yeah. I mean, I've had my car broken into in my driveway several times.
I've had my Volvo taken twice. How the hell do you want a Volvo?
Yeah, exactly. An old used Volvo. Like, what's wrong with you? But yeah, this dude, he literally he owns a Batmobile. I don't even know what the actual car is, but it's an old car that he kind of retrofitted into like the old school Batmobile. And then he's got like the full suit. I guess, is it the Dark Knight suit? Is that the particular one?
Is it?
It is, right? So he wears the Dark Knight suit and he roams around the streets of Brampton, Ontario, Canada, of all places, and just, he doesn't really do anything, but he kind of like, people see him and I guess they're like, oh, that's so cool, right? I mean, the kids love it.
That's what I think. That's maybe what he's doing. He's not so much
it's community
defending, but what he's doing is he's
building like a culture of community, kind of,
and like maybe entertaining, a lot. We met him with my kid at one of the last video game conventions, and he was just happy to stand with us and take a picture with our baby. So cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll hit him up and see if he can come on the show one day. But I guess that would be like the only avenue. So we need a suit. Right, so we got to design a suit,
at least a mask.
Yeah, we need like a really cool car as our superhero car, and then we'll just pick a city to just kind of roam around and just walk around the streets like, yeah, I'm your local superhero, but I don't actually do anything.
My superhero car is going to be a protege.
Yeah, I just sent you the video on Instagram of him. He just stands there.
Yeah,
like a visual.
I know I've seen his car around.
Vigilante.
Yeah, I think that's like the thing of it. That what most of it is he's just like a vigilante. He just kind of like observes and watches, and I guess makes sure nothing is going on. But I mean, like, if there was a scenario that something was going down, like what's he realistically going to do, right? So if a bunch of guys in a parking lot decide to bust out their swords or something, sabers, because that's never happened in Brampton before, right? Or start beating each other with sticks or something crazy,
or coming to the dinner table with the car. Car's going through the roof.
So I don't know, but yeah, Brampton's a little weird like that. Anyways, apart from that, we kind of went a little off track there, but so you were saying, Stephen, that your role is you're a vehicle tech, and then obviously you're pretty patriotic. So what kind of like, so originally I remember you wanted to be a police officer, right? And you had actually joined the force. Is that what happened at one point in time?
Honestly, no. I didn't. I tried to put in as much effort as I can.
Yeah.
But they had so many little tests that, in the end, didn't even really mean anything. Like they were going to teach you this kind of stuff in Ontario Police College. It was a huge waste of time.
Yeah.
Like I had inspired myself heavily. Like I'm a big anime nerd. I watched One Punch Man, saw the workout, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 10K run every single day. Yeah. All to have the power to friggin' tear away a mountain with a single punch. I was like, oh man, I want that. I know it's not going to happen, but hey.
That's your superhero dreams.
Basically. Yeah. Like, I know how to fight. I can do parkour. And honestly, all I really got to do is just use my brain the way my brother does, and I'd be invincible.
That's so cool.
Pretty much, yeah. How to just absolutely figure out how to destroy somebody, right? So, so what motivated you to want to become a police officer in the first place? Like, what was it that you were seeing that might have been going on, if there was anything?
Well, growing up in Brampton, you see a lot of crazy stuff happen, and over the years, as the population increased and crime just started getting bad, cars getting stolen more often and stuff like that, I was just, man, I'm getting sick of this. Like, I grew up around here. I actually like this place. My parents live here. And, like, well, when you grow up with Portuguese, especially old-fashioned Portuguese, you're very family-oriented. And you just want to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah.
So I literally gunned it as hard as I could, like practicing Taekwondo, he saw, doing workouts every single day, going to the gym. Like, I was fit as hell. But
you were broken in pretty differently. But there was something about you with the way you are that you grasped very, very fast.
the thing is, when I'm interested in something, I'm full throttle and I understand everything. It's like, because I'm a car guy too. I haven't gone to the lengths he has yet, or any of you guys yet. But I mean, I got my Rebecca back home. She's in the garage, getting ready. But yeah, like I was just really motivated to help people. I had a big sense of justice. Like if I see someone parked in a handicap park, last thing I want to do is give them a ticket. I just want to find the guy first if possible and be like, okay, why you parked here? It's like, oh, your mom needed medicine. She's in like bad condition. She really needs it badly. Okay, warning, go. Done. Because like I see so many cops handle it in a poor manner, but at the same time, I understand it's a high stress job. Yeah. Just a simple traffic stop for, oh, your tail light's out could result in you getting a bullet to the head. Yeah. So at the same time, I kind of picked my straws. I saw that if I joined the Army, honestly, statistically, in my mind, I thought I'd be safer, especially being a vehicle technician. I'm in an armored shell. I have a bunch of guys there to protect me, and I just felt safer. It definitely helped calm my mom down because, man, my enlistment date was November 2nd, her birthday. I didn't plan this. Yeah. It was just like, happy birthday, Mom.
That was a hell of a gift.
I'm out. I gotta go.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna go and fight for the country.
Yeah.
So, oh, my God.
So you said you're in, would you say you're in like a bulletproof shell? What did you say about that?
Yeah, like it's an armored shell. They do a pretty good job. They're very smart about how they have these things. Like there's a lot of vehicles that we have extra armor. It's like a whole cage because like normally the windows are like this thick.
Okay.
You try to punch that, you're gonna break your hand. You try to shoot it, good luck. You're gonna need like 100 rounds hitting the exact same spot to even have a chance of breaking it.
Okay.
But
what kind of vehicles are these? Humvees, like that. That's all I can think of for a military vehicle. You know, Jeeps and Humvees. What are they like? What's out there? What are you working on?
Well, I can tell you that the names of the vehicles are like LSVWs, HLVWs, HSVS. I haven't gotten to actually touch one of those really, but I've seen like one of the bulletproof windows get installed, and my God, that thing was heavy.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it was like 300, 400 pounds.
For one window?
For one window.
Damn.
Like crazy. The front,
yeah.
Like one side is like that much. Like imagine both together.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I guess it's kind of a necessity, right? So
it really is, honestly. Like
I'm looking it up.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
There's different variations of it, man.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of variations. But yeah.
Cool.
You're literally driving the house around.
So after the so I know I'm familiar kind of like with the whole stupid testing thing because we had another friend who was like trying to join the police force. I think it was Peel Regional Police, and it was a lot of like really mundane dumb tests that just didn't make any sense. Like you pass the fitness test, no problem. You can pass the whatever tests that kind of seemed a little bit more of a requirement. And then there was other stuff that just didn't make any sense.
It was something called ATS at the time, Applicant Testing Services. And honestly, it really didn't give you any better quality candidates, so they started phasing it out. At least that's my understanding from what like one police officer once told me. It's just obviously I didn't want to wait that long because I might have still been a cop. Yeah. I'd have loved to be a police officer, just unfortunately never took. I tried MPs, but they said I had to wait an extra year, and I was just like, man, don't get me wrong, I love my family, and I don't have that many issues here, especially since, like, everything's been made cheap for me, family discount and stuff like that. Right. So, but I just couldn't wait, so I chose the next best thing. I was a car enthusiast at the time. I wanted to learn about mechanics. They basically said, okay, you join us, we'll train you, this and that, and I was just like, okay, I don't see any negatives here, so I went for it. I mean, it's been pretty good. Finally got my own place, especially in this economy. Like, and I thought I'd be a homeowner by 40. I thought I'd be like a construction worker working my butt off every single day doing side work and stuff. And finally, when I'm 40, I'm like, I finally can afford a down payment. It's like these $1 million homes, and one of them is mine. Next thing you know, I go see the house, the windows falling off. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing?
So you bought an abandoned house, is what you bought.
Oh, actually, no. I bought a. It's funny because, like, from the front, it looks small, but it's actually quite long. A really big driveway, but sadly, where I am, there's a lot of snow, so not so much fun in winter. But
isn't it fun having to shovel the roof?
Shovel the roof.
Luckily, I haven't had to do that yet.
Just
but
go up
I
with a broom.
still gotta buy a ladder to go up there and shovel it because the roof slope is like this, and that's not very good for snow to kind of
They
slide
have
off.
these long pole things with like.
Oh, I bought it. I can only reach a certain amount. I can't, and if I want to reach all the way around the house, I'm stepping with snow like up to like almost my knee.
Oh yeah, because you get what, like 4 or 5 feet or something in certain areas.
Certain areas, yeah. Especially when the snow plows pile it up. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets bad out there. I remember when I was living in Ottawa, and I'm just like, holy moly. I mean, we do get a lot of snow here too from time to time, but there was nothing like what I saw in Ottawa and then further into Quebec and stuff like that. It's just like, it's crazy out there. So I remember I was on the road. Oh man, when was that? Beginning of November. So we were with our French Canadian friend, Jeff, and he lives, I think, near like Trois-Rivières, like Shawinigan kind of area, and he was already showing us videos and just like piles of snow, and that was like well over a month ago, and I'm like, holy crap. It started so early over there.
Funny
Alberta
thing is,
too.
it's not even that much snow.
No.
I remember leaving Quebec literally like 2-3 days ago, driving. I'm near Trois-Rivières, and I'm just like, where's all the snow? What?
It changes so fast.
I know. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, when can I have this kind of weather around me? Like next 10 years? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just the same thing like when I was just out in the desert. We were in Vegas, and then we went to Phoenix and stuff like that. And like certain areas, like when you go into the mountainous areas and the elevations change, and it's like 1 minute it's 27 degrees, the next minute it's like -5. And then I'm talking, when I say 27, I'm talking about Celsius for our American friends watching. But yeah, so it's like, it just changes so quickly over there. It's just nuts, right? So, and then over there it's like you can go through certain, I remember I think it was last November, December, we were on the way from Texas to New Mexico, and we were driving through in the middle of the desert, and there's like one side of the mountain range was covered in snow, and then the other side was just, there was no snow anywhere else.
I thought it was photoshopped when I seen it.
Right? Like it's like,
I
what
can
is
never picture Texas with snow.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. They get like ice and a little bit of snow here and there. And then I remember hearing stories about like areas around Vegas too periodically will get snow as well, right? So, but yeah, I think most of those areas they don't really, but it's wild because now it's already like -2-3 degrees outside here. About a week and a half ago I was in Phoenix, and it was 27 2 days back to back during the day. So going back and forth, and that's how you get sick, right? Yeah. But yeah, tell us what life is like on base. Really curious. Like, is it hard living? Is it fun? Is it what's it like?
I mean, you're doing army stuff, so honestly, it's pretty fun because, like, especially when you go in ranks, you're next to all your comrades. It's pretty cool, honestly. It's like you're just like, hey, my buddy's down there, and then officer comes around, or our CO or whoever's in charge of us for the day comes, and all of us are just snap to attention and just get ready for the word of command, do whatever. It'll either be PT, and then we get dismissed to work, or do work and then sometimes PT at the end of the day. Either way, it's pretty good because like you're doing workouts.
What are all these acronyms? Like, what's DT? What does that mean?
Oh, sorry, PT.
PT. What's that?
Physical training, basically. Okay. So like, my favorite is PT on your own time because I like to do my old routine of go to the treadmill, run my complete life out of me until I'm like heaving and just burning from sweating. And then I'll stretch, go straight to the weight room, lift as much as I possibly can because I get the endurance from my actual job. So figured, why not get the strength while I just go to the gym? Sometimes I regret it. I'm like, oh, why did I do this?
What was that one place where you were training, like you had to be in, like, you know, like where you almost had like pneumonia or something, or like you all had to hug, like, you know?
That was St. John basic training. almost froze to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I misunderstood some information.
What was it?
So basically, it was this. They told me that if you sweat and it gets in your clothing, even if your clothes dry, there's still like residual moisture in your clothing. So you need to change that clothing. Otherwise, when you go back outside, you're likely to freeze and basically die.
Okay.
So I thought, oh wait, I'm just wet from like the snow I've been laying on for like an hour or 2 hours, and just like I let it dry off as I sit in my bed, just waiting for the next timing. Because when you're actually doing like field exercises and stuff like that, you need to get rest when you can, because when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Right.
And you got to be alert. You got to be ready. They get you paranoid. They beat the crap out of your mind.
Was it that one phone call I had with you? Whatever song it was in the background, and you're like, I gotta go click.
And you're just like sitting there like, what the hell?
There's no telling you exactly what it's.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah, honestly, like if something happens in the shop, because like if someone ever gets crushed, God forbid, because Lord knows it's happened, especially to civilian mechanics. It can definitely happen to an army mechanic, because no matter how careful you are, sometimes equipment can fail, and you just have to be careful. That's all you really can do. Have a fail-safe. Like, for example, one of the first safety tips I learned when working on a car is get a jack stand. If you're taking off your wheel especially, put it under the vehicle. Yeah. So if that jack stand fails, it might not land upright or whatever to hold the vehicle up. At least a tire can prevent you from getting completely squished.
It happened to me once. I was helping a guy at I was in a gas station, and the guy needed to change his flat tire. I helped him, and while just using his little scissor jack out of the trunk, right? Exactly what you're saying.
Which
happened.
are the worst.
Yeah.
They should be illegal.
Yeah. Oh man, they're so bad. The car fell because the jack stand just tipped over just like a centimeter. You know, the whole thing fell over, and I was like, all right, good, dude, you're on your own now. I can't help you from here.
Damn.
Well, sadly, finances come into play when it comes to manufacturers and what they got to do. It's like it's like the spare tire. I miss the full size spare tire, man. It's not fair. I was born in a time where cars are being less tested and more cheaply made. Granted, sure, it's because of electronics, but like take a CVT for example. Amazing on fuel, but that steel belt just doesn't hold up over time. Its durability is poop.
Stretches, right?
So I think they're made lighter. This is kind of like the whole concept, right? But it is really annoying when you're driving CVTs. My Forester's a CVT, and I'm just like, me. But there's no other option, so what are you going to do? Unless you drive a manual, of course. But I don't think that car comes in manual, not in North America anyways. But yeah, I remember you taught me the tire thing like years ago. You're like, no, when you're taking off the wheel, you put it under. Yeah. Just in case.
I'll tell you one thing. If automatic was never invented, I think the roads would be a lot safer. Because like, there's too many people on their phones, just in their automatic car. I especially remember on the road trip here, actually, I saw a guy in his Tesla. He wasn't even sitting in the driver's seat. He put on autopilot, sat in the passenger seat with his phone the entire time. Like, what?
Was it a self-driving car?
It was a Tesla. They have I think they have like a feature where you pay a subscription or something, and it allows the car to drive itself using the cameras to monitor a bunch of stuff.
When that was new, I mean, it was new to us at least. I remember I was driving to Ottawa, and I was so tired, and then this damn Tesla drives up beside me, and the guy's reclined in the driver's seat, reclined on his phone like this, and I just got so mad. I'm like,
but you're not supposed to be.
No, you're not supposed to. There's ways to get it. So at the time, I think this was like 3 years ago. They had the fail-safe was that you had to constantly have your hand on the steering wheel for at least a few seconds every minute or something like that. And I looked it up. How do you get around that? You just really just put like a weight or something around the steering wheel, and it's like it's there. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah. Recently when I was in Phoenix, Arizona, we saw a driverless Uber. Yeah, so over there, you literally, we were shocked, right? So apparently they're there, and I think they're like in LA, like probably other parts of California. So we come outside. We went for rodizio. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's a Brazilian steakhouse. So we went to Fogo de Chão in Phoenix, which sucked in comparison to the other rodizio place that is amazing in Las Vegas. Anyways, so we come outside, and all of a sudden there's this weird looking car with, we thought it was like the Google car, because it had like all these like spinning things on top, right? There was like these things spinning on the front bumper, in the rear, on the top, whatever. I'm like, Oh, look, it's the Google car.
What was it, like a Chrysler Town and Country sort of thing? Because I remember seeing there's like a package $400,000 for a self-driving Chrysler
I don't
Town and Country.
remember. It was like some weird name. I have a video of it in my phone. I'll have to look it up after. It's like it was like its own weird brand. It was very, very odd. Anyway, so this car pulls in. We're like, oh, look, the Google car. So I'm like waving because I want to be in the photo inside the Radizio, like that, right? And then we look, and there's no one in the driver's seat in the car at all.
That's
We're
crazy.
like, guys, it's a driverless car, and it like pulls around. So now we start running after it to see what it is. Like we wanted to film it or whatever. And then like one of the employees from the place starts walking out. And he's like, "Oh, it's my Uber," right? We're like, what the hell? Like that's nuts, right? Just imagine like you get picked up in like a driverless taxi, essentially.
Damn.
I don't remember what the name
for your
was.
car. Push the button and turn.
Pretty much, yeah. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, but I guess that's our future now until they all start getting into random accidents. Right? So I've been hearing issues with the autopilot. I don't know if it's still a continuing issue with the Teslas, but they'll randomly brake for no reason whatsoever. And
Brake meaning slow down brake.
Yeah, like the car will just try to stop for some reason. So like the sensors will malfunction, but I guess that could be any car now because even gasoline cars have the same kind of concept, right? So it's like the sensors think that there's something in front of the car, so it automatically just brakes. So imagine you're driving on the highway and you're behind a Tesla, and then all of a sudden the Tesla just slams on its brakes for no reason whatsoever, and then you just cause a like 200 car pileup on the 401 or something. It's technology is it's good, but it's also our worst enemy at this point. So we'll see where it.
Wasn't it the very first batches that they would combust like catch on fire?
I think there was some people were talking about something to do with the batteries. I don't know what happened with that. Like the batteries, if you charge them at home or something, they would like overheat. I don't want to misquote, but that's just what I remember hearing, something along those lines. So.
Do you have any self-driving Teslas in the military, Royal Canadian military?
We have some electric cars. It kind of sounds a bit eerie, especially when you're in the field, because you're in the woods and all you hear is...
Oh, that's crazy.
It sounds like a spaceship. I'm like, whoa, what is that?
What about the Apache that you control it with your eyes?
What?
What's that?
Oh man,
I have not got.
You can control the Apache. There's a Apache now. You control it by your eyes. Like when you turn. You don't get to push the button. So it's like just blink and you're in it. It's just you're flying with your eyes while you're sitting in it.
So you turn
like a helicopter? Like is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Here. What is this?
Let's go see if you can find it now, dude. This technology they're making is crazy.
I don't want to believe it, but
honestly, this is probably something more American because I'm not gonna lie, America has amazing logistics. Like they can get anything anywhere as fast as they really need to, and
sounds like
I'm not gonna lie, it does
stuff.
sound kind of creepy to me because like I feel like eventually they're gonna start doing like, oh, you need implants and augments to be a soldier. Like, no, leave my body alone. I don't want to replace anything.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they'll make you do it.
If they do that, I'm sorry, I don't want to be part of that anymore.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know, man. All this technology is kind of nuts. I was hoping to see like some really interesting stuff when I was near Area 51 recently, but we did see some stuff like on the way. There was a lot of there's like this one airstrip that's kind of like on the outskirts of Vegas, maybe an hour. And it was just like drone after drone after drone just launching from this one airstrip. No idea what the hell they were doing. But yeah, it was pretty fascinating. And then when you go to Tucson, there's an Air Force base, so it's constant all day. They just have fighter just all day, just back and forth. I guess they're just like doing training and whatnot. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. I would like to know what they're doing in Area 51. What do you guys think? Anybody want to speculate what's going on over there?
I have one word. I actually have two words.
Yeah.
Space aliens.
Space aliens?
I wouldn't be surprised if aliens exist.
Yeah.
I just hope that we have a better record of meeting them than we have of each other. Because, I mean, not going to lie, history has kind of taught us that we're not exactly kind to our own species, let alone others. So hopefully we can be like, oh, you guys are aliens? Cool. Can we share technology with one another? Because like, maybe they have super advanced space travel, but they have nothing in terms of weaponry, and maybe they're having a conflict issue. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Who knows, man? Who knows what the hell's going on, though? Maybe they're having their own wars on their own planets, right? Doing their own weird stuff to each other. Who knows what the hell's going on out there? Right? Maybe they're observing us and they're being like, oh, that guy's got a lot of power. He calls himself the president.
Why is he falling asleep so much?
Oh, that's just another issue. Wait, you can be old and tired and still become the president of the United States? Oh boy. Okay. And you can have dementia to go along with it. Man. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're probably out there. Does everybody here agree that, I mean, you seem to agree that aliens are probably out there, right?
I mean, I'll say one thing. I definitely believe in ghosts. Aliens, I do believe there's a strong possibility because, like, man, the universe is infinitely expanding. How could there not be some other form of life? Like, we can't be it. Maybe it's like thousands of light years or whatever away, but
we're probably aliens.
I mean, we're definitely aliens to any other life out there that's not them.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. So
I think there's aliens.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah. What's convincing you?
The Blink-182 song, Aliens Exist.
Is that a real song?
Yeah.
Is that like a new song? That
no.
It's old?
This thing's
2001, man.
Yeah.
99 or something.
Jesse knows the song too. Aliens Exist.
Oh, I love them.
I gotta listen to this song afterwards.
The problem is you can't even discredit anything either. Like it's like the story of the boy who cried wolf. Maybe it didn't actually happen when they made the story. Maybe it was some other thing that happened, but I mean, it probably happened somehow randomly.
Yeah.
So, like all these crazy TV shows like Twisted Metal, Purge.
The Purge.
They're not crazy for making this happen on television for us to see. Hannibal Lecter. I love that psychotic man.
You saw that TV show years ago?
Oh man,
It was good, right?
They're bringing it back now.
Are they really?
Finally.
Oh man.
It's psychotically amazing how a person can be so high up in a doctorate and
intelligent, I guess.
Cannibalistic animal and just I'm normal, but this is normal in my life. To you it's not normal, but I don't do this, I don't know how I'm gonna survive type of deal with the brain.
Yeah. It was a strange like concept. I don't know if you ever saw the show, but it was like it goes back to like way before like Silence of the Lambs and all the movies that were created, like what was it called, Red Dragon or whatever. Yeah. But like I mean there's nothing like the first, like Silence of the Lambs was the best one of the whole series, and then it progressively just got shittier and shittier over
I believe
time.
was one of them.
Was it? I'm not sure. I watched that one, but yeah. And then they made the TV show finally, and the TV show was like super dark.
Yes.
Like darker than, I don't know if you ever seen like Dexter. Yeah. Like take Dexter and like multiply it by 10,000.
Yeah,
like it was like
he makes Dexter look like a good boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I guess kind of in a way Dexter kind of was like a good boy, kind of. He still killed people, but he killed bad people. Essentially, was the whole concept behind Dexter, right? But yeah, the whole Hannibal show was freaking wild. So you said you believe in ghosts. What convinces you about ghosts? I know I believe in ghosts because I literally do it for a living, essentially. But
just some first-hand experiences. I remember one time it scared the crud out of me. I was a kid, I was just walking around in Portugal, and I was like, "Oh, there's the church my parents go to on Sunday." Go in the church. It's summer and it's cold in there. Really? It gets colder as I go in. I'm like, oh, what the heck?
Towards the statue on the left, correct? Yes.
So you knew too. You had the same kind of vibe.
Yes,
Was it like always or just that one time?
So when it's so weird to have to like explain what I don't even know myself in a way. I know from what I've felt, but I really don't. You get the goosebumps, but they're not goosebumps. It's like your soul comes out of you, like you're that scared of like shouldn't be here. But on the Sunday mass, it's like whatever spirit is in there, it's not there for the mass part of it. But when the church is by itself, it's its own domain.
Yeah, it feels different.
Yeah, it's just eerie because like I was saying, when I went in there, it was cold as I got in closer and closer. Especially to the left side.
Your heart starts to race in that.
Yeah, but what did it for me is my body kind of froze. I couldn't move. I don't know if it was me. I don't know if it was the fear kicking in, but I swear I heard "Sai fora" screamed in my ear.
What's
that Portuguese for "get out."
Oh.
I didn't think twice. I left. I left as fast as I could, pushed the giant door open, and just ran up the mountain to home. And I just climbed in bed and put the sheets over me because I was
terrified.
I was like a teenager or preteen, like something around that time. Just I was messed up for a bit.
Wow, that is scary. I can imagine that. Holy.
Sephora! I learned a new Portuguese word today.
Wasn't there a statue in, I don't know what country it was, it would like bleed out of the eyes or something?
I remember,
or cry or something like that?
I don't remember exactly.
I don't know how real that was it?
Yeah, look it up, but yeah.
I remember looking that up before.
Yeah, it's funny because like some of the weirdest stuff I've ever captured on camera doing what I do and just going to abandoned places was literally in churches, mainly a cathedral. There was this one particular time where we were in a cathedral. It was abandoned in Montreal. They've since converted into like apartments or whatever, but we were in there. Everything was there, left behind. All the power was still on, so you had all the lights, and then there was just like this. I didn't even see it with my own eyes. Somebody actually pointed it out after I uploaded the video. They're like, yo, you go to this timestamp, you caught something moving in between the pillars, and you can clearly see this all black figure that looked like an alien, right? With like kind of like the big head and like the really skinny like torso and neck and whatever. And you can see like the arms, and you can clearly see it going past the pillars. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever caught. Funniest thing, I wasn't even like going with the purpose of ghost hunting. Like I was just going there just to film an abandoned building to me, right? So you found something?
Just reading the Wikipedia.
Yeah. I've heard of the story. It's like Mother Mary, and just periodically the eyes will start bleeding or whatever, right? So something along
what
those
I'm
lines.
seeing is they're calling them obvious hoaxes. List of weeping statues, and there's multiple apparently.
Yeah. But in reality, like if like, you know, something like this were to actually happen, you're gonna still get skeptics regardless. Like they'll never believe, like, you know,
there always is.
Yeah, like if in reality it's like even us, it's like if a real, like if Jesus or like a prophet or someone presented themselves to us face to face, like would we believe them? Right? It's like God himself could literally present himself to us. It's like the question is, would we actually believe? Nah, you're lying, you're making it up, right? Sure. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess that's kind of like why, you know, everything happened with Jesus at the end of the day.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, something happens, obviously people aren't going to believe it because, like, you need to prove things to people, especially most people. Like, some people have their faith and they may believe you right away, but it's just like, if I came out and said, I'm Jesus, I don't think a lot of people would believe me at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, right?
But you can be, right? It's like,
yeah, like I don't even think I'm Jesus. Why would anyone else think
but you don't mean it like that, right? But people sometimes take it too literal.
Yeah.
Well, it's just all about your faith. Like, you have some people who are extremists, some people who are casual, some people are just like just enough. Like, you have all kinds of people out there with all kinds of religions. So.
Yep. And then we know Jesse had his own paranormal. So you were a skeptic before, right? And then something changed.
Yeah.
A couple things happened, and
a good buddy.
What happened?
You were staying at his house.
Yeah, we were, you know, just chilling in his room playing video games and like, you know, casual, normal Friday night, and closed the door to go outside and have a cigarette, and this big bang on the back of the door. We opened the door and look here. The lamp is right here. The bulb is right there. It didn't even like, break or anything, and that thingy over top of it.
The shade?
Yeah, all separate. Like
dismantled. How could this happen?
The lamp's like 8 feet over that way.
Yeah.
Trying to think power surge, but
impossible. Like that literally doesn't even make sense. Like I get trying to debunk it and trying to like figure out what the hell just happened, but
I can't explain something like that. It's just let's keep going. Or in the garage the other time.
Yeah.
Garage door closed, working on a Ford Probe. Both of us are in the car, and it felt like someone literally kicked the door in. And shut up, just keep working. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, at that point you're trying to question yourself, and you're like, yeah, let's just
if the door, you know, the door can close slowly, but I mean, coming at you like 30 maybe kilometers an hour, like what the hell?
Yeah, it takes you by surprise, especially when it's like the first or second time of like experiencing something like that. You're not quite ready for it.
And like you were saying, like, you know, you go back and look at your videos and, oh, there was something there, but I didn't see it at that moment. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, paranormal stuff is definitely weird. I'm gonna try and find that video. Actually, I think. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
You ever run into anything supernatural, any kind of stuff like that in the military? So when you're out there, do you like you just stay at your own house? You drive in every day, or you're on base? You're sleeping there for like time?
So
What's the living situation? And then, have you ever come across anything like that, supernatural or?
I mean, there was one time I felt like I was being followed in the woods because, like, I was on a training base and I was just decided to go through the woods because I was bored because there's really nothing to do there after hours because it was just training time. We weren't doing anything super soldiery or anything like that. So I just, because like it's a beautiful base. All of them are. They usually have like lots of natural paths where you can go put on a backpack or a rucksack and just go for a walk. So I was tired of video games. I didn't feel like drinking or anything like that. So I went for a walk. I felt like something was following me. I didn't actually see anything. Nothing actually extreme happened. It's just, it was summer. It was like freaking 20 degrees that night, something around there. And I just felt cold. I got goosebumps. I'm like in a long shirt. So just none of this made sense. There's no wind either.
Hopefully I'm not asking this wrong. How old's the facility? Is it like a history or like?
I'm pretty sure, like, because this is base Borden. They still have like trenches they used to use because like it used to be an Air Force base, but then they kind of used it to train. I think it was for World War II. I mean, there could be some ghosts there. Who knows?
I'm sure there's probably been some
if there's a ghost
right?
in a church, why wouldn't there be a ghost in a military base?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
all the time, dude. So there was a military base that we filmed in South Carolina. We had a couple of friends, and the lady's husband, Matt, works for U.S. military. So he got us access to the barracks, and there was actually ghosts haunting these barracks, and they didn't actually die in the barracks. They died in Afghanistan, and I guess because when they bring the bodies back, somehow the spirits came back and still haunt the barracks to this day, like multiple different spirits, right? So, and we had some like interesting responses as if they were like we could hear them like on spirit boxes and stuff, kind of like calling out for their mom or whatever, right? So it's pretty crazy to think of stuff like that. So anything can happen when it comes to the paranormal stuff. That's why it's so like fascinating. It's like they didn't even die here, but somehow they still are connected to the building because they were here at one point in time, right? And there's a lot of like different theories about stuff like that, like theories about like impressions, right? So you when you touch wood, you leave an impression, and part of your energy is now attached to that wood, for example. So like that whole kind of thing continues on even well past, like even if you didn't die there, like your impression, your energy is still kind of connected to the building, the bricks, the wall, the wood, whatever it might be, right?
On that subject, there is one theory I do believe in. It's like, because when you die, apparently there's electrical signals in your brain. They stop when you die, and you get a tiny, tiny, tiny bit lighter, apparently. I could be misinformed, but I don't know. That too. Apparently those electric signals, they could be like the soul, because like, who knows what the soul actually really is. So my idea is just like, maybe there's some very strong feelings at a certain place. Maybe you died like 200 kilometers away from your house, but there's just something in your house that you cared about and thought about so much that your soul just doesn't feel at ease, and it just stays around for a certain reason, be it anger, resentment, freaking happiness at something. Because like, I don't think all ghosts are bad. I wouldn't risk it. I mean, if I came with you, I'm sorry, I'm bringing gloves lined with salt.
That was like mom's mom. She's like, I don't want to come to Canada and live with you guys because my husband is still here, even though he was, passed away. I could feel the aura.
Yeah,
he's still here. I can't
his
leave
presence,
him because he's not leaving me.
Yeah. Although if you were to go somewhere, you'd hope that they would probably come along with you, right? Or just get them to attach themselves to an item and then bring the item with you. Right? Just like I'm collecting haunted items. They're all behind Anthony. I don't know if he's aware of that, but you see that doll over there?
Don't look, he's gonna strangle you.
The 2 dolls and then the camera as well, and then plus that brick as well as from the Wilson Castle that's got something probably attached to it. Who knows? And there's another brick on the other side because I've been a couple times to Wilson Castle.
What the hell, man? You brought me on here. You brought like possibly possessed stuff here.
This is why I keep saying. And last episode, I actually went and grabbed them for some reason. When I had them in my hand and I sat there, I'm like, why the fuck did I grab these? What did I do this for?
Intrigued. You were intrigued.
What's the doll that they made?
Annabelle,
but
Chucky.
I think it's Robert or something.
Oh, Robert the doll.
Yeah. They based it off of him.
Robert the doll was a doll that I believe. So they have the actual doll. He's in Key West, Florida.
Glass, don't look at it or something.
Same thing with the Annabelle doll. So there's a couple different stories. So Robert the doll, I could be misquoting the story, but I think the story was that they found him in like the attic of a house that they purchased, like the family, and then this kid like kept the doll, whatever, named him Robert, and then all of a sudden all sorts of like weird stuff around the house would start to happen, and he would always constantly be blaming the doll, right? And then the doll has been infamously famous ever since. I have a little Robert the doll. He's about this big. He comes from the actual museum, which is in Key West, Florida. He hangs from my mirror. But that was my friend brother Frank who gave me that the day that I met him. So I've kept it there. I took it down at one point from my old car because then the clasp wouldn't fit, and then eventually I put something to put it back up. But yeah, it shows the story there.
Trying to find some history. The doll originally belonged to Robert Eugene Otto, an artist described as eccentric who belonged to a prominent Key West family. The doll was reportedly manufactured by the Steiff Company of Germany, purchased by his grandfather while on a trip to Germany. Apparently it has supernatural abilities that allow it to move, change its facial expressions, and make giggling sounds.
Interesting. Yeah. There's Robert the doll. I think Exploring with Josh just had something happen. Was it with Robert the doll? So he went to go see Robert the doll, and he, I guess, made eye contact with this thing. And then, like, for the next like week or two, his face was all like fucked up. Like Josh's face was like had something weird was going on with his face. I think it was Robert the doll, but recently I saw the Annabelle doll, the real one, and the one from the movie as well. When I went to the Warren's Paranormal Con in Connecticut, they had the doll there, so we got to see her on the VIP night because we got to go like backstage or whatever, or like behind the actual like event that was going on. They had her like in a box and whatever, and all sorts of like weird stuff at the event was happening. But not only that, my good friend Yasko, he went to go see Annabelle. So he was invited by the Warren family. I believe it's the son-in-law who now runs the museum in Connecticut. Like you can buy tickets, you can go in and see Annabelle and all the other artifacts. So Jazz was invited to go and film at the Warren's museum. Went in, saw this doll, whatever, made his whole video, and I think it was 2 days later, got into a car accident, was rear-ended while he was at a stop sign by a drunk driver. Gets a rental car. A week later, hits a deer, totals a rental car. Yeah. And it was just like, what is happening? Like all within a week and a half of seeing the Annabelle doll, like the rental company's like, okay, like you want another one? And he's like, I think this is just a really bad omen at this point. And I'm just like, no, thank you. Or he said he's like, no, thank you. But yeah, it was really, really weird. And stuff like that is said to have happened, that you end up with like bad luck after you see the Annabelle doll. And I don't know.
Kind of like Robert, like they say don't take pictures of it.
Yeah.
Because you'll get into some type of accident.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I know people who've literally made videos on Robert the doll, like actually physically gone there and visited the doll and whatnot. It's so weird. It's just crazy, like things that happen. But I did find the video of that weird like demon thing. I'll show it to you guys here. Wrong button there.
I know him.
You know that guy. So, yeah. Here. Okay, so notice right here where my mouse is. I don't even know if this is showing up on the screen properly over here. Hopefully it is, but there we go. Okay, so just turn this off because it's loud. Okay, right here where the cursor is, you can already see this head thing peeking out. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, play it. You see it?
Oh, it moved.
It moved, right? You can see it moving a little bit more. And then it goes all the way behind the other pillar, right? Like, what was that?
No, thank you.
Right?
Somebody saw that in your video.
Yeah, somebody noticed that and then timestamped it. And I'm like, yeah, what?
It was edited.
No, it's literally not. That's the thing.
I hate those comments.
I know, right? Yeah, because I edited
It's already
that.
bad enough that I get to see it afterwards.
Yeah, like, dude, what the hell? But yeah, that's like one of the weirdest things I've ever captured on camera, like unintentionally, because we didn't even go there with the intent of doing a ghost hunt. Like, I think we asked a couple questions using EMF meter. It was so basic back then. Like, we didn't even really do real ghost hunting, if you will. But yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. So, I don't know. To me, it kind of looked like a weird alien type of body, like really thin.
It reminded me of E.T., actually. Yeah, immediately.
Yeah. So I don't know what the heck that was, but you wrote what it was your near-death experience? What is this?
He was telling me while we were on break that there is a near-death experience that he came across while being in the military. And I said, okay, I'm going to write that down.
Really? Okay, you got to explain that. If
Steven,
anyways.
What was your near-death experience?
So basic training, we got told a bit of information that was actually good to keep in mind. It was like, if you sweat in your clothing, change it, especially if it's winter, because the residual moisture will not leave your clothes until they're actually properly dried. And me being the dummy that I sometimes am, I go laying in snow for like an hour or two, get up, I'm cold and wet because my body heat melted the snow or whatever. And instead of changing my clothes, like...
You just let it dry off, like you said, right?
Yeah, I just sat in my bed, waited for the next timing, because you need to get as much rest as you can when you're in the field.
Right.
Because, like I said, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And you got to go and pay 100% attention. Hell, 120 if you can.
So it's like, so why do they do this? Like part of like winter training sort of thing?
Yeah, because like it's Canada, right?
Yeah.
Like most of our like country has got a lot of snow and it gets real cold. And we're supposed to be ready for anything. Like we have a lot of training for the winter time, like melt the ice in this pot, melt it enough that the water can like boil it, kill the bacteria, chop down necessary amount of trees if that's permitted. If not, then we just get kindling some other way. Basically, they tell you survival techniques to survive in the land and stuff. And I just ignored this one because I was like, oh, this isn't sweat. This is just moisture from the ground. But I didn't realize it was the same concept, and I almost froze to death. My sergeant comes up to me and looks at me like, Carvalho, you're shaking like a savage. Are you okay? I'm like, I'm just really cold, Master Corporal. My cold tolerance isn't good. I'm Portuguese. I'm built for plus 40, not minus 40.
Yeah, no kidding. I feel like that too. As I get older, I'm just like, I can't deal with this cold stuff anymore. Still got to do it anyways because, you know, we have no choice at this point over here. But yeah, that's crazy. So what do they do? They just leave it. How long did they leave you out there?
Well, it wasn't like leaving me out there. We always had to stay in our groups.
Right. But like, how long would you say that you were like out there? Because it was like intervals, right? So you do like a few hours at a time, then
anywhere between 1 and 2 hours.
Okay.
So it really didn't take long for me to get covered in snow, get wet, and then return to our area where we were staying.
But you're kind of just like hunkered down, like you're not moving, just sitting there, pretty much.
Yeah, because like, say for example, you move from one position to an objective. Obviously, you're going to want to secure the area. Everyone takes a position, makes sure that they identify everything coming. Usually, you'd have like arcs. You obviously cover a certain kind of area. It's kind of common sense. If you're in the military and you're guarding a position, you got to watch certain places. And just it was simple routine. Everyone did everything properly. Just I was the only one who had that happen because I ignored good advice.
Wanted to do it the hard way.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. I'll never make that mistake again.
Yeah. Yeah, that would suck. But I also imagine because you're not moving, you're not like warming your body back up.
That's a funny thing. I had enough kits because the military here is fair. They supply you with everything you need from training to equipment.
Right.
So everything you need, it's there.
Yeah.
Just obviously listen to the more wise and experienced staff, because if not, then
you're gonna die, freeze to death.
Well, not die, but you'll either look silly, or you'll just make your commander like shake his head and be like, "Come on, private," or "Come on, corporal, get it right. You've been through this training. Don't forget. Keep your head there."
So you went through the whole process of trying to become a police officer. Didn't end up happening. Ended up going to the military because it was the next best thing for you. What motivates you to keep doing it at this point? Patriotism?
It's a little bit of that, because well, a good bit of that actually, because sure, I didn't like growing up in Brampton at all. I mean, I got picked on for several obvious reasons that I'm sure you guys can probably understand. But I just saw too many good opportunities. Like, I had 99 reasons to do it and only like 2 or 3 not to. Like, my 2 or 3 not to was just because, 1, my family, and 2, it's kind of a big step when you move to other places. But at the same time, I don't care if I see the world. I want a paycheck. They do a pretty good job of that, thank God. The second thing was, like I said, I wanted to be a superhero. So the fact that I'm technically helping like people, because if you fix up a vehicle, like Canada sent some vehicles to Ukraine. If you fix up a vehicle and send it to Ukraine, you're helping the Ukrainians. If you fix up a vehicle and send it to your division who's got their vehicle stuck and maybe they're like, say, in an enemy's area, get them out of there as fast as you can. You're either going there with tools in your rucksack, maybe you got an ATV, or maybe you don't have the luxury and you're ruck marching there. Who knows when you get there, but just hustle.
Right. So yeah, you're helping them however you can.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm always happy when I get to hear that my buddies get to see their families for Christmas or for any of their leave. Because I mean, I took it for granted when I was a kid. I didn't miss my family all that much. But then once I'm away from home, I'm just like, man, I miss my mom. I miss her cooking. I miss my dad and some of his wild stories. I miss my brother, even though he's my older brother. Hey, you know I care about you.
So if they, how does it work now? So are you, if they had to call up some of you guys for, duty somewhere like in combat, would you be sent out? Is that how that works?
Well, it really depends. Like, as far as I understand, we have like rotations, like, because we have multiple bases in Canada, right? Like, reservists can choose whether they go or not. A lot of them, thank God, they actually step up and say, I want to go, and they go.
So it's like almost like a voluntary basis, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's more often than not, at least I'm assuming so, you'll get basically told, okay, you're going on deployment. And unless you have like some kind of medical issue or you're not able to perform at your best, you're more than likely going. And I honestly wouldn't mind going, because it's not so much to like see the areas, but it's just to like actually know that what I'm actually doing is being put into use. Like, I'm actually out there helping infantry stay alive. I'm actually out there making sure that this vehicle will get there. The infantry might have some civilians to evacuate, because who knows, maybe like a village is being bombed by some crazy, for some crazy reason, and they're trying to evacuate. If those vehicles aren't up and running, it's kind of my fault. Well, not mine per se, but just like vehicle technicians in general. They have a lot of responsibility, and honestly, a lot of them are pretty good at what they do, like really good. There's guys younger than me who know way, way, way more than me and him.
So with all that being said, do you think others should join the military and serve?
I'll say this. If you join the army, they will dog you sometimes. But, however, that is actually good for you, because it teaches you a bit of mental resilience, which I honestly do feel quite a few people lack nowadays. Because there might be some superficial issues where some people are just a bit too sensitive. Like, say, I don't know.
Push comes to shove, you gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do.
Yeah, it's like there's one phrase when I was a kid. I hated hearing it, but nowadays I don't actually feel that bad that I got told it. It's like, you know the phrase "be a man," and I'm just like, man, how do I know how to be a man? I just know how to be me. Apparently, it's just be an adult. Yes. Get out there, do your shit.
Yep.
Always the meaning behind the words that people don't understand sometimes.
Yeah.
Of the phrase that's being told to you, which
essentially, if you have a high tolerance for lack of a better term, bullshit, join the army.
The same word.
Yeah, because like, sometimes some things may seem pointless, but those things really do build up resilience over time. Because like, I was mentally fit, but before the army, I wasn't so much like mentally in there. Like, I mean, I weigh less, I got less muscle mass, but I'm still stronger than I ever was, just because they really built up my brain to just be like, freaking gun it, push, go. Because like, who knows, maybe one day I'll be running for my life, and that little bit of extra mental resilience might save my life. Of course, sometimes you'll butt head with a supervisor, but at the end of the day, you respect one another, and if there's an issue, you talk about it, get it settled, and then, yeah. Most guys, and well, actually, every case I've heard in the military so far has been pretty good. Like, people are able to be adults, work together, and just work towards a common goal.
Makes sense.
So you've gone through really intense training, it seems like. Can you give us examples of, like, what?
I mean, my training in particular wasn't actually that intense. There ever was one time I was put on, they call it SQ. Basically, it's teaching the techs how to be actually a soldier, even though we kind of did something kind of small through basic, but this was like a bit more intense. I'll say one thing, the instructors were definitely tough. They made us want to cry, they made us want to quit, they made us want to just scream in agony. But of course you can't do that, because
they break you in so many ways.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad I went through it though, because I feel much more resilient, and like I'll actually be more useful in the field should anything happen.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing, it is definitely nothing in comparison to what actual infantry and special forces go through. Like, those guys are, they're the real superheroes. They're kind of what I was hoping to be. I tried to kind of push myself to go into special forces, but I kind of lost the drive to go that far. Yeah. Especially since if you're special forces, you don't get to see your kids often. So me wanting to have my own family, probably not the best idea.
Yeah. Plus, you'd also see some shit. Like,
you'd see a lot of shit.
Stuff. Yeah. Crazy stuff that most people would never ever see. Plus, somebody's also got to fix the vehicles for the special forces guys to go places, right? So
oh, don't worry. Our best techs already go to them, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
If not, then still.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely a tough job, I imagine. So, you guys probably go through hell and back sometimes.
No doubt.
Yeah, especially a lot of the guys who are out there on the front lines around the world. But yeah, apart from that, I have one thing. I was going to save it for like a future episode, but I think now is the best time. Apparently, over 170 of Jeffrey Epstein's high-profile associates will be named. I don't know why they did it like that. Will be named. Named in court documents set to be unsealed in the first days of 2024. Personally, I doubt it. I don't think it's going to happen. No. They're going to come up with some other lame excuse.
They made a movie based on this, right?
They did, yeah. Yeah.
There was being terrified of, like, you know, telling the truth of, you know, how.
Yeah, so there was a documentary on Netflix that had come out. It was a while ago about some of the girls who had been on Epstein's island, and you know how it was kept a big secret for such a long time, how quote unquote tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones was called a lunatic, even though he had started calling out Jeffrey Epstein 10 years 15 years whatever it was, well before the FBI ever got involved and started investigating. And it's been said that the FBI kind of knew about a lot of it. Some people are kind of saying that like a lot of the names that are going to be given up are just going to be like, you know, dead celebrities who can't defend themselves anyways. They're just going to make up reasons not to give out the real people who've been there, like other, you know, high-ranking politicians, high-ranking elites at, let's say, financial institutions, etc., etc. So who knows what's going to happen, but it's crazy because all of these people should be indicted. They should all be thrown in jail for what they did. Enough is enough with this garbage. Like we were talking about the whole Wayfair thing on the last episode and weird stuff going on in Etsy where a chair costs $37,000 with a child on it. Is it the chair that's for sale or is it the child? We don't know. So it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of like trying to follow the Epstein stuff as long and hard as possible, but it's hard info to kind of process just because of like what happens to these people. But yeah, like the documentary you were talking about was like the girls who were there and what they went through and et cetera, et cetera. Like they have the tapes. They know who was there. Like it's sickening.
Okay, so I hate to ask this because my daily life's far too busy for me to keep up with everything that happens. Can you give me a short run-up of what happened?
So Jeffrey Epstein, who was a well-known financial banking guy, financier, if you will. Ghislaine Maxwell, who was somehow connected in that world, daughter of a very wealthy person, partnered up. They were never together, like, you know, in the romantic way themselves. What they were doing was they had this island and they would bring underage girls to this island who would, for lack of a better word, provide certain services to whoever was willing to pay for it. Like we're talking some really, really sickening stuff. There's lists of people who are, like I said, high-ranking politicians, elites, whoever could essentially afford to go there. Apparently, a lot of it was taped. A lot of Epstein did this himself. Ghislaine kind of was like the mastermind behind a lot of it, kind of organizing, you know, what was kind of going on, the girls that were coming in, etc., etc., etc. I can't like say certain words on here because it's YouTube, but you get the gist of it, right? Yeah. Epstein was very, very well known. Finally, he got indicted, thrown in jail, and he, for lack of a better word, Epstein himself, if you will, with some ropes or pieces of clothing or whatever it was. All the cameras were turned off when this happened, when he was in his jail cell, and he was found dead like an hour or two later, whatever it was. All the details are all kind of online and whatnot. Then after that whole happened, so if you ever hear the phrase Epstein did not Epstein himself, because he was probably whacked because he knew too much and they probably took him out, which is kind of the idea, theory about what might have happened there, which is very, very plausible and very likely. It took forever for Ghislaine to finally become indicted herself. And the funniest part about Ghislaine's whole trial was that it was never publicized. I understand that there's a lot of like really horrible information that would have been spoken about, but why was it never televised? It doesn't make any sense, right? So we only ever had some sketches and knew that she was in the trial process, and then eventually she was thrown in jail. Now, with that being said, if they know that them two confirmed 100% did what they did, then obviously they know the other people who were involved, which we could be talking about hundreds, if not thousands, of people doing evil shit to underage people, right? Yeah, and it's like, how come these people have not been indicted? Why are we waiting so long now? I've been kind of like, everybody's just been waiting. Like, where's the list? Where's the fucking client list? Like, it's not that complicated, right? Yeah. So hopefully by early 2024, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I'm very doubtful. I think they're going to come up with more excuses, more lies and bullshit regarding the entire situation. I don't think anything's going to really happen.
So this Global News article is saying that the set release date for the documents is January 1st.
Really?
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's interesting. So you mean the one day when everybody in the world is not paying attention is what you're saying? Because what's everybody doing on January 1st?
Sleeping.
Exactly. They're recovering from their alcoholism the night before, right? What the hell? Like, what is this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. They're already, before the documents have even been released, they're already making up, coming out on a day when no one is paying attention. I'm sorry, but no one watches the news on January 1st. Everybody's at home either listening to maybe a podcast, watching Netflix, hanging out with the kids. No one's watching the news on January 1st. So
I mean, I'm hopeful some information will get around. I mean look at
we'll
TikTok. They do a lot of things to give information about this and that. I mean, I know because my girlfriend's on TikTok all the time.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if there are any, there probably.
But remember, that's also what TikTok chooses to show you, because not everything is, you know, viable information, or some stuff is considered misinformation when it's actually not, by TikTok, the organization themselves. So
I mean, if it doesn't get out on TikTok, it'll probably get out on either YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. There's too many social media.
X is the best way to go. You know why? Because ever since Elon Musk's taken it over, information is actually finally allowed on X.com. So it is them, and I'd have to say, sorry, YouTube, but Rumble is also the other best place to go to for information. Whether it's right or wrong, let people speak. That's the whole point. So, yeah.
Remember that you can follow us on Rumble.
Totally. Brave Podcast on rumble.com. Go and check us out there. But yeah, that's I think pretty much where we're going to wrap it up for tonight. It's getting a little bit late.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
And, this is interesting to do.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Believe it or not, this kind of helped in a way with the aura of, like, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, I know it was hard to talk about. It's always been kind of a challenge to kind of like tell the whole story of everything that happened, everything that you went through. So I'm glad you kind of did that. And, you know.
Because I'm terrible at, you know, starting conversations with people. And when I get into these pauses, like, there's no way I can justify what I mean.
Yeah. But it's like the best built-up pause ever, because everybody's like, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna say?
It's like a stoner moment, but it's not. It's just it happened.
You have a lot of feeling, right? So it's hard to put that into words, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was a long recovery process. A lot happened, and yeah. You're still kind of obviously reeling with it and still recovering.
Oh yeah,
away,
for life.
Right?
Just, you know, you make the best of the worst, and take some of the traits that you learned how to be stronger with, you know, misery, unfortunately, and enjoy life.
Yep.
So positive, both of you. Really cool.
Damn right. Yeah.
You gotta
I love the family vibe, by the way.
You gotta love how the world, you know, buries you, but enjoy being buried.
That's it, man. Yeah, you're right. The love for these two have for each other is super cool. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, man.
8 years apart, man. Felt that do us die.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is where we're going to end it off tonight. Thanks to the guys for hanging out with us, telling us a bunch of stories and really interesting information and discussions about aliens and ghosts and stuff. Yeah, again, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, turn those notifications on, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.